So once again, another year, the first ballot of All-Star votes have came back, and once again, for another year, fans are upset about it. If you look in the American League, there is a specific team that pops up a lot here. That being, of course, from the American League East. Now, if you're not familiar, you'd say, oh, it's the Rays. They're the best team in the American League. If you are familiar, you know it's the Blue Jays. Fan voting mixed with an entire country backing them, huge fan base. Yeah, it's going to garner a lot of Blue Jays ranking high in the fan vote. If you look at it, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually led first baseman above Yandy Diaz, who's been one of the best hitters in baseball. Whit Merrifield, who's been about an average player this year, is the second leading second baseman in the AL. Matt Chapman had a really hot start, cooled off a little bit. Bo Bichette, absolutely deserving. And Kevin Kiermaier, you might not think so, but he's actually had a really nice season as well. None of the Blue Jays on this list, and I mentioned the Blue Jays singling them out for two reasons. They have the most players in the finals, and they also have a couple ones that I don't necessarily agree with. And that's not to say these Jays, Vlad, Merrifield, are having bad seasons. There's just better players that should be there. Just to throw out a few names, Jose Ramirez for the Cleveland Guardians is having another nice season, and he wasn't one of the two third basemen that are heading into round two of the ballots here. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see a guy like Masataka Yoshida, but to be honest, I don't really care. And maybe that's a hot take. Everybody knows the All-Star game is nothing but a popularity contest. And this is fan voting for the starters. All the reserves, the pitchers, and injury replacements are picked by the managers who were in the World Series last year. So Dusty Baker for the Astros in the American League, and Brian Snitker for the Atlanta Braves in the National League. So a lot of the guys who've played really well are more than likely going to make the All-Star game. And some deserving guys are going to get snubbed. That happens every year. And I'm sure it's partly going to be due to homers picking their hometown team or their favorite team and filling out their entire ballot with those players. But I just don't care. I follow baseball a lot. If Jose Ramirez doesn't have a star next to his name on Baseball Reference, that's fine. I can look at his stats and see that he was really good. It's just like the Pro Bowl in the NFL. You see how often guys will be named All-Pro, which is voted on by players, media, and didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's fairly common to happen. Now, obviously, fans want to see their favorite players in the All-Star game, and that's why they vote for them. Personally, when I fill out my ballots, no, I'm not putting Joey Gallo down to start first base. Well, he's been playing left field recently. I don't think I had any Twins in the starting lineup because I don't think they deserved it. That's how I prefer to vote, but there's nothing I can do to change a Blue Jays fan from wanting to see Vlad Jr. And I'm sure it's not isolated either. Plenty of people just pick the big names like Vlad Jr. Most people just would assume that he's having a better season than Yandy Diaz. A lot of it is casual fans, and they're not so much digging into the deeper analytics. We'll look at the National League quick. You got Freeman, Olsen, Arise, Albies, Arenado Riley, Orlando Arcia. Again, if you haven't been following, that seems crazy, but he's having a pretty crazy year. 333 batting average with a 132 OPS plus. Lindor, Murphy and Will Smith, outfielders, DH, everything looks good. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys vote for your favorite team's players, or do you just do based on who's most deserving? And also your thoughts on the All-Star finalists heading into the second round of voting.